Ah yes, it's April. Now that spring has officially sprung, let's roll down the windows, let down our hair, and cruise into Compliance City. Hopefully you've had a great month so far. We have a lot to cover in the April newsletter. Even though it is warming up, don't get too comfortable. We can still get hit with fines during those morning frosts. Banks are collapsing left and right. A clearinghouse loophole will be closed, and there is a new pay-per-mile insurance program. On another note, March was Ladder Safety Month, and there is a reason for that. Portable ladders are one of the leading causes of occupational injuries. In honor of that, we'll be showing random ladder fails throughout the rest of the newsletter. As always, all links and forms are below. If you have questions, here we go. Okay, everybody freeze. Well, even though spring has sprung, that doesn't mean the chilly mornings are done. So let's talk about frost laws, the associated fines, and how they can affect your CSA scores. Okay, you can pick your jaw up off the floor. Yes, there are frost laws, and you can get fined for them. What will they think of next? Certain states and a few provinces in Canada enforce frost laws, and each has different seasonal weight restrictions or speed restrictions on certain roads during certain times of the year. This helps to prevent permanent damage to the roads. As a trucker, you should account for this when you are planning your trip. Many states enforce frost laws because between February and May, when a cold morning turns warmer, you see frost will melt under the pavement, trapping water between the pavement and the unmelted ice. That makes the road wet and spongy. Now you're driving down the road going 45 miles an hour in a 45-mile-an-hour zone, and this knotty, moist, and fluffy pavement gets permanently cracked by your heavy truck. As you know, for 2023, the FMCSA has decreased UCR fees by 31%, and now they're planning to reduce them once again for 2024 by another 9%. What I'm trying to tell you is that they won't decrease forever. According to Logical Loop, come 2025, these UCR fees will go back up, so enjoy the low fees while you can. Okay, there's a lot to unpack with Secretary Buttigieg and the Senate budget hearing. I will give you the Cliff Note version, but my friend Lumpy Luke has already done a video breaking down this topic in detail. Feel free to click the link in the top right corner of the screen to watch that video. The biggest topics for truckers were the parking crisis, the driver shortage, and the pilot program for under 21 drivers to drive interstate or across state lines. Regarding parking, right now the shortage is estimated to be around 40,000 parking spaces, with only one space for every 11 drivers. Biden's infrastructure law is already helping create spots in Florida and Tennessee, and there's technology in the works to show truckers available spaces in real time. The driver shortage is really simple. There's a driver shortage, and with freight growth, drivers retiring, and competition from other industries, it could exceed 100,000 drivers by the end of 2023. They're trying to battle this by getting drivers started younger, which was the purpose of the Under 21 pilot program. Sadly, as of right now, there hasn't been a lot of interest from these 18 to 20-year-olds. There are steps being taken to increase participation in the program, including various advertising campaigns to target these young drivers. Good news for all you trucking companies out there. The FMCSA is finally closing a clearinghouse loophole that is allowing drug violations to slip through the cracks. Good for employers, bad for all you job-hopping drivers out there. Basically, the loophole allowed drivers to slip by with a drug and alcohol violation that was reported by another employer after a pre-employment query, but before their next annual query. The clearinghouse will now notify employers if there's a change to a driver's clearinghouse record for up to 12 months following the query. This is great for trucking companies because it is one step closer to reducing your liability by keeping drivers off the road that just flat out should not be there. Currently, there's an issue with drivers hopping from job to job to avoid going through the SAP program. This change aims to prevent that job hopping, as well as preventing drivers from flying under the radar when they work for multiple companies. At times, a driver could have a drug testing violation that one company catches while the others don't, allowing them to continue driving. If you need help qualifying drivers, our DQF team will be able to assist you in getting you set up. Just fill out the form below or give us a quick call. What is an OSHA 300 log, and when are recordables required? Basically, an OSHA 300 log is required for employers with 10 or more workers and is meant to keep records of serious work-related injuries or illnesses. Now, that is where the confusion comes in. What is considered a serious work-related injury? A good rule of thumb is if you give someone first aid, that is not a recordable injury, but if a person gets treatment or requires treatment, that is a recordable injury. So if your employee just needs a Band-Aid or some tweezers for a splinter, you don't have to record it. But if they need prescribed medications, a rabies vaccine, or they're dismembered in some way, yeah, get ready to push some pencils. That's an OSHA 300. What is the worst thing you can do with your money? Give up? Spend it on things you don't need. Now, everyone needs insurance, but you may be paying more than you have to. Why? Because there's a new pay-per-mile insurance program that was just released, and it allows you to only pay for the miles you drive. That sounds like a no-brainer to me. If that's you, then this new insurance program would be perfect. Basically, a telematics device is installed on your truck that tracks your miles, providing monthly reports to calculate your total insurance premium. You can even have up to 4 trucks insured this way. Not a bad deal if you ask me. The program is meant for new ventures with less than 2 years experience, and there are a few guidelines you must meet. So not just any carrier can take advantage. If you have questions, Zach over at CNS Insurance can help. Just give us a call at 1-800-724-5523 or just fill out the form below. Much like the fools that use the top step on a ladder that clearly says this is not a top step, Silicon Valley Bank collapsed. Luckily, the Biden administration was there to catch them and bail them out. Biden did reassure Americans that there is no need to freak out. We aren't having a repeat of 2008, and we can maintain confidence in our banking system. Either way, for most parts of the trucking industry, we did come out unscathed, but there were 2 big names that might be impacted by this bank fail. The first one is TruckerPath. They're known for the mobile app, which helps truckers navigate, secure loads, check fuel prices, and so much more. The other company is Netradyne. This company is known for their AI tech and the building of vehicle telematics with fleet cam and GPS tracking to improve on driver performance, collision management, and fleet tracking. As I mentioned earlier, the Biden administration bailed out SVB. So for now, money is still available to TruckerPath and Netradyne, but it is unclear how tied up their money is. What is reasonable suspicion testing, and how does it apply to you as an employer? Basically, as a manager, your job is to observe employees, and if their behavior seems sus, that is when reasonable suspicion testing comes into play. Just remember, it is not based on a gut feeling. As a manager, you should have been keeping proper records of your observations and ruling out any other causes for the suspicious behaviors. Once enough evidence has been gathered, depending on your policy, you can have another manager confirm your suspicions and then request Yilium to take a drug test. Wrong or right, you have done your due diligence, and as a manager, you're keeping both your employees and the company safe from anyone who is using drugs at work. If you need more information or would like to put your employees through a supervisor reasonable suspicion training, just call us at 1-800-551-9816 or fill out the form below, and we can get you set up with our online video training. Here we go again with the hair testing for DOT drug tests. Hair testing has been an on and off again relationship with the DOT, with the main issue being with what happens if the test comes back positive. If your hair test were to come back positive, you would need to offer a urine test to confirm. Now you're dealing with longer downtimes, waiting for the test results, and you have to pay extra for the confirmation tests. In addition, the collectors are keeping your urine specimen for an undisclosed time while the MRO is reviewing your first test to see if they even need the urine. Again, the issue isn't the hair test itself. Based on current studies, a hair test is actually harder to cheat than a urine test, which can be watered down or replaced with fake urine or another person's urine. Hair testing is virtually impossible to cheat, and there's no scientific proof that dyeing your hair, applying hair products, or even detox kits will have any effect on the test results. If you have questions or are a company that needs to enroll in our drug and alcohol consortium, just fill out the form below. That is all we have for you this month. To new and existing clients, if we saw you at Matt's, thank you for stopping by the booth. We enjoyed chatting with you. As of today, we're still accepting entries to win the gift cards and the free mock DOT audit, but that will be closing in the next week or so. Thanks again, and we'll see you next month. Texas Matt, out.